Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So now we're entering day 3 of what's been called Collargate, where Hasan Piker has been trending non-stop due to allegations that he used a shock collar on his dog Kaya live on Twitch. Now since then, he has come out with very unconvincing evidence saying that he did not do this, that the collar was simply a vibrating collar, but a lot of people are not buying what he's trying to sell here, and now Hasan has resorted to the ultimate cope, where he is now saying, how dare you criticize me for potentially using a shock collar on my dog while there's a literal genocide going on. Yes, he is using the plights of Palestinians as a shield once again, but this time he's using it to try to dismiss any criticism of his treatment of his dog, Kaya. And now, as we're going to see in this video, he is lashing out against content creators like Asmongold and Moistcritikal, who dared to defy the Matrix and actually criticize this dude for what he's doing. And a lot of people are just done, including some Hasan sycophants. And like I said yesterday, it's really sad that it took this action where he's using a shock collar on his dog for some people to wake up and say, what is this dude's problem? What is up with this guy? And it's sad again that it took this recent series of events, but at least some people are opening their eyes. Now, Hasan has been doing his best to act like this is not bothering him. He came out with this post, memeing on the situation, promoting his stream, and a lot of people are, they're not too impressed with this, and he asked this question earlier today saying, is there anyone out there who thinks their lives are getting better under this administration? I get Twitter is the worst place to ask this, but seriously. And as Nux says, the Palestinians think so, and that's a development we'll talk about later in this video. And another one saying they're not electrocuting us with shock collars when we move around a little bit so. And Smash JT says, your dog's life certainly isn't. A lot of people are not happy, including Elon Musk, who's been on a bit of a revenge arc trying to get Hasan in trouble legally and socially. And he made this response to a meme. Actually, not a meme. This is real, guys. This is canon. Okay, Kaya got revenge. Okay, this is a real image. Or at least I wish it was. But of course, like I said earlier, Ethan Klein would point this out on Instagram. Hasan is now using the plight of Palestinians to defend himself against animal abuse allegations, saying, referring to his dog, she has no idea she's been the most famous dog on the internet over the past 2 days because of a coordinated far-right / pro-Israel slander campaign. Just when you thought this guy couldn't get any lower, he digs another 10 feet deep. This is absolutely shameless and pathetic, but don't worry. He's got plenty of people trying to defend him under these exact terms he has set out. So here we have the popular content creator Valkyrie, and she has decided to use her 2.9 million followers on Twitter to defend this guy. And she recently, in a clip on Twitch, described how, Hasan's the victim, and there's a literal genocide going on right now, and how dare you criticize Hasan during a time like this?
Oh yes, I have seen the Kaya stuff, and let me tell you, Kaya is, well, first of all, the clip did look horrible. The clip was really bad. It was so bad, and it's understandable why everyone was freaking out about it, but I can verify that Kaya is the most loved and spoiled and just the most well-trained and best little baby or big baby that I have ever been around and that I have ever seen. So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. You would think that this kind of outrage, we would have seen it towards like the genocide and stuff, but this priorities in this world are not where they should be.
You know, the worst thing that could ever happen is moments like this where today the big development is that there was a peace deal brokered in part by Donald Trump, where there is a peace deal in Gaza, and thousands of Palestinians have returned to northern Gaza, and this is a good development. It's not the ends to the entire situation, but a lot of people are seeing this as something promising and something to celebrate. But this is the worst thing for people like Hasan Piker, and I guess Valkyrie as well, because they would hate to see peace, because they can no longer use what's happening in Palestine as a shield for things they're being criticized for. But Valkyrie would come back with a very brave tweet. Let's give credit where credit is due. This is the bravest tweet I've ever seen in my life. So, virtue signaling, she says this: F ICE, F this genocide, F pedos, F animal abuse, free Palestine, and congrats Jason, whoever this is, for hitting 100,000 subs. Guys, hold on. I'm backing up in my chair. I'm standing. You can't see it, but I'm standing. Let's all stand for Valkyrie. And let's give her a round of applause. What a brave soldier this woman is. This is absolutely stunning and brave. Thank you so much, Valkyrie. You have ended suffering across the world with this very bold tweet, which is very ironic given the fact that she's talking about, like, you know, F animal abuse. Well, in the clip she just mentioned, she said, I know this looks really bad. And of course, she's going to ignore all the evidence like this, showing that Hasan likely doctored the collar that he is presenting as just a simple vibrating collar, even though he seems to have taken the prongs off that use electricity, and he also put electrical tape on it to cover up his attempt to make this look like an innocent, simple collar. But of course, more clips are resurfacing. Yesterday we saw a very disturbing clip where he told his dog he was going to end it live in front of everyone, and then grabbed it by its tail and dragged it. And now we have some more clips that are resurfacing that do not make Hasan Piker look very good.
50,000 people are locked behind fucking bars for being born in a different country. So excuse me for not giving a fuck about some fucking Twitch streamer like eating her fucking cat. Like, Ricky Gervais is tweeting about this shit. Are you fucking joking? Like, where is the priority for human beings?
No, please, Valkyrie, please explain to us how your buddy Hasan Piker is innocent when he's doing stuff like this. What is the explanation? I wait with bells on for Valkyrie to explain to us the context and why this is okay. But of course, there's more tweets and clips of Hasan resurfacing, including this one, where he has a prong collar right in front on display for the stream. And if you're like, who's this guy? That is Hasan Piker. He's had some very interesting looks over the years. Honestly, he looks like an Adam Sandler character. Like, he looks like some, forgettable Adam Sandler movie from like 15 years ago where he was playing some sort of like a cheesy dude. That's what he looked like back then in whatever arc that was. But of course, that account that I just shared, Hasan's old tweets, has been report bombed by Hasan's sycophants to the point of being temporarily restricted. That's odd. I mean, why would you be ashamed of things that you said in the past? Well, of course, people don't want to see the truth in all the disturbing things Hasan has been saying over the years, but Hasan's having a bit of a moment. He's a bit confused why people are so angry at him. And I don't have to play this clip. He basically says, why didn't Destiny's recent scandals get the same amount of attention that his recent scandal is getting? And Donut Operator makes the very simple and obvious observation here, saying, everyone with half a brain cell effing hates both of you. That's all there is to it. This guy is living in an echo chamber. He's delusional. He doesn't realize how much people dislike him. And he's trying to compare himself to Destiny. Like, if you need to use Destiny as a sort of comparison point for how much you are hated or not hated, you're already losing. You're losing. And that's all he has to fall back on. He can blame what's going on in Palestine, and then that doesn't work, so then he brings out Destiny. It's so ridiculous. Now, another person who had a lot to say about Hasan is Moistcritikal, Charlie, who came out with this video the other day with 3 million views, basically condemning Hasan Piker, saying he believes that it was a shock collar that he used on his dog Kaya, and that what he did is completely wrong. But now Hasan has seen this and said, wait a minute, you can't criticize me. I'm Hasan Piker. And then he released this absolute cope, this last-ditch effort to throw Charlie under the bus for daring to go against the king of Twitch, that is Hasan Piker.
Even breathe in the direction of Moist if I were you, to be honest. I mean, he put his stake on this, okay? He was like, oh, enough people shit on him. It's good enough. It's like obviously not a it's obviously, no matter how narrative it is, if a clip looks bad enough, then he will go with it. And he will just use these guys all these guys basically farm Reddit for talking points, and Reddit can so easily be botted and manipulated. And I don't think we're ever going to get ahead of that. There's just nothing we can do. Bro, he said you're abusing Kyle. Like, no way, fuck him. Yeah, I mean, if he thinks that, he can suck my dick. Weird how quiet he was about literal pedophilia in certain communities. I mean, it took him 2 years to fucking come out and be like, yeah, the genocide is happening and it's really bad, actually. So Charlie's been on a good streak lately. He genuinely cares about dogs. He talks about how much he cares about dogs and pets all the time. So do I, dumb. That's the reason why I'm pissed off. That's the reason why I'm annoyed. He could just like ironically reach out and be like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what was this about? This clip looks bad. You know what I mean? Hey, Hasan, I know we've been around one another before. We've actually been around one another, and a lot of the people that I know that I'm around all the time and do content with have not only been around you, but also been around Kaya. He could have just fucked up, not me, but any number of different people to be like, hey, do you think there's any veracity? Do you think there's any veracity to these claims? Not just like, don't ask me directly. Do your due diligence. Why the fuck do you go to Reddit for talking points, dumbass? Fucking moron are you? It's insane to me that like this is what goes for like doing commentary on the internet, is just like, oh, these are the Reddit threads from some of the most like schizophrenic people you've ever actually encountered. This is all it takes for me. He said you hide the bad stuff from your friends? He said I hide. Okay, I'm going to DM him. Gross. Moron.
He did it again, ladies and gentlemen. He blamed all of this on the ongoing genocide in Palestine. He said, how dare you, Moistcritikal? How dare you, Charlie, say anything about me when there's a literal genocide going on? Like I said earlier, the worst thing that could ever happen to people like Hasan Piker is peace in Palestine, because he would lose his most valuable defense that he is worn out to oblivion at this point. And it's so funny. He's talking about Charlie and basically saying, how could you ever say this about me while this is happening? How dare you? And saying that he's getting his talking points from Reddit. Dude, you are Reddit. You and your community, you are Reddit. I've said this before and I'll say it again. People talk about extremism across social media platforms. One of the worst places is Reddit. Reddit is Team Hasan, okay? They are the ones who are the biggest supporters of Hasan. And the fact that he thinks Moistcritikal is somehow getting talking points from Reddit, dude, you are completely flipping things upside down. Isn't that like a talking point of communists? Where they say basically accuse your enemy of what you're doing yourself. That's literally what Hasan is doing. And he's acting like there's no way that Moistcritikal could ever say this stuff. And just shoot me a DM. How could you get to this conclusion, Charlie? Well, Charlie has eyes. He has functioning eyeballs. Where he saw something happened in front of him, live on Twitch, and said, whoa, there's a very easy conclusion to reach here. And it's that Hasan used a shock collar on his dog for simply moving out of its bed slightly. Charlie, who's always blamed for being a fence sitter, took a side. He decided, probably against his own best wishes, to speak out against Hasan because he cares. Because he cares about the safety of animals. And he saw this and said, that doesn't look right. That's bad. And Hasan, who's been under a bubble, protected for so long, cannot believe anyone would do this. Now, also, just saying, Moistcritikal, he turned off all donation options on Twitch and other platforms. And he said, go to other content creators. So, why not here? Yeah, we're going full grift. I'm going to be called a grifter every single day. There it is. But all jokes aside, Ethan Klein would come out sharing this clip. This is the weirdest clip I think I've ever seen of Hasan. So right now, context, he's mad at Moistcritikal for making a video criticizing him. So he says this.
And did you see Charlie's video on you? Seemed kind of bad faith. I don't care. I have not. Charlie, Moistcritikal is afraid of getting on a fucking plane.
Huh? That's your response to Charlie saying all these things in a very long video? The response from Hasan is saying you're afraid of going on planes? What kind of middle school response is this? That's the best you got? That's the best response to everything is you're afraid of getting on planes? What is up with this dude? He's completely lost his mind. But of course, he talked a lot about Reddit being very cruel and that Charlie is taking his talking points from Reddit. Well, here's Hasan in his subreddit talking about his video, saying pretty disappointing video from Charlie. And then his community saying, mentions this, but not the serial harassment podcast. Come on now. I'm not terminally online enough to know what this is even referencing in the first place, but let's go to the next one. I said in a comment a couple of days ago, he just follows the side of popular public opinion. He is a spineless fool. About a week ago, I talked about Charlie, and this whole situation kind of flew under my radar for a couple of weeks, but after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, he made a video. And like I said, I didn't see it until very recently, but Moistcritikal was crucified for coming out and condemning an act of political violence while saying, hey, I don't agree with the guy's takes politically, but what happened to him is horrible. And we saw people on Reddit and TikTok going after him. And you know what? For a guy, again, who's always accused of being a fence sitter, I'm very proud of Charlie for having a spine, for saying, you know what? This might upset a portion of my audience, but I'm going to condemn this because it's the right thing to do. And he did that. If he was truly spineless, he would have said nothing about this Hasan situation, but he put himself out there, knowing, again, people in his own audience and some of his connections might be mad at him for speaking out against this. So I think it's very ironic that people are calling him spineless for doing this. Here's another comment saying Charlie felt that he accumulated a small amount of goodwill from the left because of his anti-Israel video. So he immediately had to follow up with a anti-Hasan video to squash that misunderstanding. It must be exhausting balancing on top of that fence with his bony ass. Weird thing to say at the end there, but also it must be exhausting. It must be exhausting being a terminally online person who views people like this, who thinks they're a monster for coming out and saying, using a shock collar on a dog for simply moving off of its bed while it was planted there like a prop. every day on stream, that's a bit weird. That's something that is really exhausting and terrible. No, this is exhausting. These people are exhausting. This is 100% Charlie giving chum to the Sharks after speaking out against the IDF. Do you think that Moistcritikal made his video in response to anything to do with the IDF? Are you that captured by your own worldview that is something plausible? It's completely insane. But Asmongold would have a lot to say about Hasan and his community, because people like Asmongold, people like me too, we get accused all the time of having the most toxic and reckless communities out there. But nothing like this happens in our communities. In fact, what Hasan does is so dangerous. And the rhetoric he has spewed is so normalized in his community that people are harassed for even daring to speak out against him about anything.
His community is extremely toxic. They are extremely hostile. How do I know that? Because they've gone after me. They've gotten mad at me. I would say that Hasan probably has, and I'm sure he would say that I probably have one of the most toxic, if not the most toxic communities on the internet. Like I would say, I mean, to an extent. And why is that? Is it because there's a lot of people that watch us? Maybe that's it. I don't know. But either way, like, his community is extremely toxic, hyper aggressive. They love, as soon as somebody is like, they're calling Charlie a Nazi, a right winger, and all this stuff because he brought this stuff up. This is, but what are you doing? Like, whenever you're a community and you're going to that length and you're getting that radical about something, what ends up happening is that, like, there's a lot of, again, like, just reasonable people that are in the middle that see this and they're like, wow, that's kind of weird. Like, what the f? And so also a lot of other content creators don't want to criticize somebody like Hasan because Hasan's community is hyper aggressive. They are very vigilant. They will go out and make tweets about you and accuse you of things that are just totally insane. Just say slanderous, awful things about you for really no reason other than you being on the wrong side of a certain issue. So that's really, yeah, find your personal info too. Exactly. Yeah, you've got more and more and more of that. And that's the big reason why a lot of his friends probably don't call him out on this. I mean, and maybe some of them agree with her. They think it's not happening. But I'm sure, like, why is it that nobody's ever criticized this outside of, like, you know, the people that are around, like, kind of like my circle, I guess? Well, the reason why is because they don't want to be victims of that type of harassment.
I'm going to play this quick clip right here where Asmongold seems to have more care for a cockroach than Hasan does for his own dog.
Oh, God! Get him out of me! What are you doing, bro? Get out of my... Go in the garbage can. I'm gonna take him downstairs. Give me a minute. I got him. He right? I can't my mouth.
That's right. The joke is always, oh, cockroaches are crawling all over Asmon. Well, he caught one and then carried it outside. Man, I know it's a bit of a goofy comparison, but hey, he seems to have more respect for a cockroach than Hasan does for his own dog. But here's another situation with this Pooper Noodle individual. I don't know if that's their government name. But they say here that they deleted a tweet and it's not worth the harassment and the toll on their mental health. They hate seeing dogs in pain and they show a picture of their dog. So what happened here? Why was this individual harassed? Well, they came out with a post criticizing Hasan Piker and calling out abuse of animals. And you can see the totally normal responses from Hasan's community. And eventually she had to delete her tweets because she was being harassed for simply calling out what he did. And also Ethan Klein brings up a good point, something I talked about the other day. Imagine if Ethan Klein did something like Hasan. If he live on Twitch electrocuted his dog. Do you think the Anisas, the Idubs, the Taylor Lorenzes, Mike from PAs, and other Hasan riders would ever let that go? Would they ever try to justify it? No. They would be talking about it literally till the world ends. But Hasan does it, and they do everything in their power to twist themselves into a pretzel to rationalize what he did. Now, also, PETA would come out and make a statement saying that using shock collars is dangerous and bad for animals. Now, I would respond to PETA, but unfortunately, that is one of the more interesting blocks I've ever had in my life. I guess it's because I posted, like, anime girls eating burgers at them. They didn't like that, but also, you know, keep in mind, PETA euthanizes more animals than they actually save, which is a disturbing fact. But really, that's all I got for today. I want to share one more thing. I was on Side Scrollers today, which, if you guys know my channel and you've been following for a while, you know I don't collab with many people. I can count on one hand how many channels I have collabed with. And one of the channels, the owner I'm married to. So me and my wife, we went on Side Scrollers today. It was a really good time. I look forward to coming back at some point, but I'll put a link to this in the description because we were on for like 2 hours and we talked about a lot of interesting stuff, including some of the topics we talked about today. So really like Craig and everyone involved with Side Scrollers. So I definitely want to give them some support, and I appreciate being on their show. But anyways, that's going to do it for day 3 of Collargate. Where this goes from here, I don't know. It's probably going to continue because that's the way things are. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.